All right. All right. YouTube. There we are. Wow. Okay. All right. It's Christmas time in the city. 6 people already. Happy Friday, everybody in the balance room. Good afternoon. Merry Christmas. We're doing a 409, 1962, 425 horse 409, 2.4s. This is a factory balance job. We're actually, look at these beautiful, these are originals. These are original 409 forged pistons. So it's original standard motor. We're keeping it standard. So we're just taking the factory balance and we're tweaking it and making it a perfect balance. And just having time in the balance room, just getting my YouTube minutes. How is everybody this Friday? Can I smoke on camera or not? I'll smoke off camera. Yay, I don't know if I can. This is a smoky room now. All right. So we're just basically balancing, having fun. Hey, Charles. Hey, everybody. Missed everybody. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Bob. We're just having fun. Friday, having a cigar and going over the balancing. Spending a lot of balance time in there. Everybody likes the balance room, so I think we'll stay in the balance room for a while. Hey, Grims. Cool. We may be on for a while. We'll just hang and chat, and Chop Mom will come in and go, what the heck are y'all doing? And if you want me to put the camera somewhere else, let me know. I may change it up for a different view. If you actually want to see closer views of that than my back, let me know. I do have my my iPad on so that I can read over here and not touch over there. So just let me know, let Shop Mom know. We're basically taking it up to speed right now. Right about there. I don't know if you can see. This is showing me my unbalanced. That's my RPM that we're balancing at. If I get crazy, you tell me something. Tell me if I'm crazy. Am I crazy? There, I kind of messed with the lighting a little bit. Maybe it helped. This is the unbalanced scale. We were way up here. Now we're down here in the unbalanced scale. Here's the RPM that we're spinning it up to. So we want to spin it up to 4,800. I'm controlling that from right here. And this dial right here is like a throttle. So let's go ahead and get the RPM up to our balanced RPM. And if I'm too loud, tell me. If I'm too quiet, tell me. Tell me to just sit back. Tell me to go away. All right. We're on the right side. This being the right, let's call that the flywheel side. And the unbalanced is just above 2. Let's go ahead and set our dial to just above 2. Can you see the strobing in the back of the crank? You see the strobe light? Every time it strobes, it's showing me a line. Let me see if... And if I'm getting too technical, tell me being too technical, and I'm thinking y'all want technical, but y'all let me know. All right. So we're strobing right now, and we're strobing right about the 4 o'clock, the 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9, 12. Where's the strobe line going at? I even have marked here. It's just before my 4 o'clock is my unbalanced, and we're just under 2 on my scale. I can get them both in the same picture, maybe. Hello, everybody. Peace coming from Texas Hill Country. So there we go. Now let's go ahead and go over. I really want you to see more of a balancing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too crazy. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. So let's go ahead and go on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and go to the left side. What that does, it locks this side in and it opens up the left side. What do we have on our left side? There's our target RPM just before 5,000 RPMs. And we got 3 of out of balance on the left side. I'm going to set our unbalance at 3. Location, where's the strobing at? Here's the 9 o'clock. Don't let your fingers get in there. There's the 9 o'clock and there's 10 o'clock, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. So about the 10 o'clock position. Now we know where our unbalance is. What it's doing is every time there's a vibration, it strobes the light. So I'm going to show you. See the light strobing? Consider this a vibration. I'm going to just touch the machine. You see that? See how every time I touch it, it actually causes a lot of vibration? And it'll strobe for a while until it just stops vibrating. So it's very, very sensitive. So anytime there's a vibration, it strobes the light. There's a line here, that tells me where we're at. And that tells me where the out of balance is at. It's very analog, it's not digital at all. The only thing digital is maybe the light. I don't know if it's a digital light. So left-hand side, we're at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. No, left-hand side, we're at 10 o'clock. Come on, people. Right there. That's where it was strobing at, okay? That means that it wants me to add or remove weight. And it was at 3, so we know. I'm going to come over here. Awesome. The same spot that we're at, and we still want to remove weight. We can add weight over here, which is what it's telling me. It's telling me it wants me to add weight right here. Well, there's air right here. I can't add weight to air, but I can take away weight from the counterweight. So right there where I've already drilled, I got to drill some more. I even have marked where I could drill more this way. Okay, we're still doing good. What does the back say? The back is location, number 4, location, location, location. Right there. What does it want? It wants me to remove. It wants me to remove weight from right there. So it wants me to remove weight from right here. The back is almost is just a 2 and the front is a 3. So we need to take off more weight from the front than we do from the back. All right, peoples. Am I boring anybody yet? Am I boring anybody? Anybody leaving? Is it too boring? Somebody tell me if it's too technical. Is it too technical? Look, we are in training. Training. No, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Maybe it's too technical, too close. I know it's too close now. Is it better far away? Hey, D-Specky. This is just balancing. We're just showing some balancing love, balancing room. Friday's balancing room seems to work out really good. So, is closer working for y'all? Y'all really want to see what all the numbers are doing, or just stay back and watch me work, watch my back? I don't know. Y'all tell me something. I'm reading over here. I'm actually got some technology here. Look at that. I don't have to touch the screen anymore. So I can actually, look at that. There's 3 of me. All right, close is good. All right, Hurtin, thank you. No, it's great. Close is cool. So you can see it actually, y'all are guys are really more technical, and y'all are just here for, you know, looking at my beautiful face, because that's not happening. But so y'all do like to see technical. That's what I knew that. I knew it. All right. We're going to keep technical. We're going to keep technical for a while. Let's keep technical. Any questions, though, on balancing? All right. We're all in training. Check this out. Y'all are going to love this. I'm thinking y'all are going to love this. I do. need to work out. I'm working out all the time anyway. All right. Is that too far? Come on, get a little closer here. Let's see what we got going on. All right, check this out. I got a foot pedal at the bottom. I'm not going to show you my foot pedal. Some people may be into feet, so you might want to see my foot pedal, but we're not going to go there. Check this out. This table, it's got to weigh 1,000 pounds. This thing is, but when I hit the air, it doesn't move. You can't move this darn thing. So I just thought you'd like to see that because I like that. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. I have a question for everybody. Eggnog, yay or nay? Yay or nay, eggnog? Get some thumbs up or thumbs down for eggnog. I don't know about, an eggnog question, but who's in a Christmas spirit? Anybody? Everybody? Nobody? Somebody? Everybody, somebody, something. Okay. What do we have at the back? We only had 2 in the back, so let's not get too crazy. The front, on the other hand, does need some more. What do we have on the front? We had 3 in the front, so let's go ahead and let's change it up a bit. Woo! Totally analog. Watch your ears, ear protection, eye protection, all kinds of protection. Protection. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry for all the noises and all that. Charles says something. Happy holidays. Drinking milk, spice, and eggs. Yeah, egg something. So what was the answer on the eggnog? Who was the answer on the eggnog stuff? Nah, eggnog. Vodka and cranberry. That sounds pretty good, though. Oh, vodka and cranberry. I might have to do that today. Are you removing? Just back with the drill bit. It's actually the new modern balancing machines all have a drill press basically built on the machine. What I did is we have extra seat and guide machine. This is my heavy duty diesel seat and guide machine. And then I have another one, a newer one in the back that we use for the cylinder heads. This is still a cylinder head one, so I'll still come in here and do a diesel head in here. But I've converted it over and added a stand for the crankshaft. So I like that it floats around, and it's a heavy duty glorified drill press is what it is. There it is right there. It's a big old heavy duty dude. A glorified drill press. There's all my drills, and it's a heavy duty stand. And I liked it because it's so rigid. So yes, I gotta lift and stuff, go back and forth. I'm gonna put me a little overhead crane. I've been working on doing that, and it's already been 8 years. So, okay. I'm still worrying about eggnog. Who's gonna, how much are you removing? Or how are you removing material? With the drill press, we're drilling holes. That's a common procedure. If we're doing a race motor, we can cut the counterweights down, but this is a factory restoration, hot rod restoration. So the factory drill holes, and we're drilling holes just like the factory did. Is it possible to balance Harley crane? Yes, it is, but it's real difficult. It is possible. If you ride Harleys, you know your knuckles just hurt like crazy after a long ride, and a properly balanced Harley can be awesome, but it's very difficult. But it is doable, and the reason is because the crank has to be pressed together. It's a whole different procedure. In my book, it actually shows me how to balance. I've never done a Harley one, but I know enough people that know that it's very hot. Hey, Jay Scott. I still want to know about eggnog. Am I the only one that doesn't like eggnog? I didn't want to say that doesn't like eggnog because I don't want to be like, what, he doesn't like eggnog? What kind of American is he? Or what kind of person is he? Or whatever. Bah humbug. But I don't know about any others. My daughter loves eggnog, so we have somebody in the family who drinks the eggnog, and a lot of people do. I'm not ragging on eggnog. This isn't a eggnog yay or nay kind of everybody eggnog on one side of the room, and everybody who doesn't like eggnog, and we're all going to be together. But I don't know if everybody else felt like me about eggnog. I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird like egg and nog together. I don't know. Anyway, I do like that cranberry and vodka thing though. That sounds good. That sounds good. All right, stop your talking and get to working. There we are. We have a guide. This is what this is. It's a guide to keep the crank from rolling off the machine one way or another. I did hear y'all want to see close up, so we're gonna get really close up, and I'm gonna let y'all see what's going on. Bring it down to earth here. I don't know. I'll find something that works for you. We'll find something. Somebody will tell me something. Okay. We know what we had before. If y'all have been with me, we know what our balance numbers are. If you want to get real cool and play the balancing game at home, how about that? You can actually see the dials and see what's going on. Does that help y'all maybe? Just for right now, just see what's going on, and I'll explain what's. Woo, unless I kick it with my foot, then I'm not explaining a darn thing, am I? All right. Here's our unbalanced scale, 1 to 10. There's another scale on the bottom. This machine's so old, it's in red. That's our very extreme sensitive scale, and that's the non-sensitive scale on the top. There's our RPM, and this is the RPM. You can see how sensitive it is. The RPM of what we're spinning it at. The RPM that we spin it at is not necessarily the RPM the motor is running at. That's the RPM that this is spinning at. So it's relevant, but don't get confused by that RPM, because this is determined by the weight of the crankshaft on the machine, and that is determined by, like I said, this ain't a balancing. That's determined by these knobs down here. So that's the weight of the crank, and that tells me what the weight of that's what the RPM that we need to balance his engine at, because of the weight of the crank. That's a setup RPM. So it wants to be balanced at just 5,000 RPMs. But everybody knows at 409, the red line was over $6,000. And I'll show you, we'll get into all of that. I don't know if you do or not, but all right. All right, so let's spin this puppy up. Like I said, I don't want to get too close, but I'm gonna let you see that first. Here it goes. We're starting to spin her up. You're not seeing the crank, but you're seeing the RPM now come up. When we get to our just under 5,000 on this scale, this is showing us our unbalanced scale. Right now, I'm in the most sensitive. This is unsensitive. So a lot of times we got to start here and work our way down. As you can tell, it's perfectly balanced. Well, that's because it's times 100. It's not very sensitive. Times 10, still considered badass. Now we're at the times 1, very sensitive scale. 2 and under is considered a race motor. Once you get under 2 and under the sensitive, there's actually another set of numbers in the bottom, and I don't know if those can come up in this scale or not. But that breaks down 0 to 2 in the sensitive scale. So this scale up here is actually the not sensitive scale. The bottom scale is sensitive, and it broke it down from 0 to 2. So right now there's 1, there's a half there. So that being said, let's use the top one as a reference. Where were we at the top? Before we started, can you see the knob up there? Where my finger's at? We were at 3. Where are we at now? 2.5. Okay. Sorry. We were at 3, and where are we at now? 2.5. That's a good. We're going the right way. Excuse my sweaty self. But so I don't know we were at 3, we're 2.5. We're going the right direction. I would rather ease up on it, go back and forth, get some exercise, and keep taking metal away than jumping at it, drill a big ass hole, and go, oh, now I got to add weight to it. Let's check the other side. We done good in the front. What do we got in the back? There we go. Right under 5,000. We're right above 2. Right at 2. So we're still in the unbalanced, right at the 2. And we're at the 4 is our location. Location, just before 4, 2. We're still good there. This is considered a street balance. I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way to we can hug 0. Let's hug 0 today. I'm going to get a shirt. Hill Country, let's hug 0. And y'all know what that means. Go back over the left side. I like that. Let's hug 0. All right. We were at 3. If you can see my dial, we were at 3. Now we're just above 2. We're doing good. We're bringing it down. So I'm going to turn my dial to where we're at now. Location, 9, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Let the thing slow down. Let me answer some questions, or maybe not, or drink some water, or drink some of that cranberry and tequila or something, or what, I don't know. It wasn't tequila though, it was vodka. All right. Anything I missed? Everybody good? There's a lot of people in here. Egg what? I say egg now. Yeah, exactly. Not because I'm not putting up with the tree this year. Account over. No tree? Oh, decorate a tree outside. We can replace puppies. Put a tree up. I'm just kidding about the puppies, though. I love puppies. All right. Go comment. I don't know. I guess Charles, you don't like eggnog. Eggnog. Good breakfast. Just drilling. Yes. De-spanking. If that's what, just drilling it. Just basically. Also, depending on where we're removing it. If it's closer to the end, I'll actually take the time to actually round off the edge of the counterweight. So depending on where it's at, if there's a bunch of jagged stuff around there and I got to remove metal anyway, instead of drilling a hole, I will take, and this is in the balancing room just for that. And we can come here and lightly round the edge off the weight. We can round the weight off. So you gotta use your sense. Look where you're gonna remove weight. If there's a piece of stuff that you can get rid of, I mean, go ahead and get rid of it. D-Spanker, do you hate eggnog? Is that what you're saying you hate? And I don't know if I just had the Hood brand. The Hood brand eggnog, is it something special? What is that? Can you right side cause a out of balance on the left side? Yes, you can have, and that's why, yes, very good question. That's why I do this. I do this just for the good questions. Yes. The question was, can the right side affect the left side, vice versa? Yes. Awesome question. So instead of just answering stuff, I'm going to show you what's happening here. Let's get down here. Okay, here's my machine. You can see, what's that? See how I have my lines marked there? So when it's spinning, I can actually look over here and look at these. They look like little reference marks. They're reference marks. When it's strobing, I'm looking at, that's what the lines that I'm looking at. So when I come back, then I'll line up that line with that line. See, I got them everywhere. These are just, it's a chalk mark. They're not, I can wipe them off my machine, but I actually want to make me a dial. So I have a bunch of reference marks, and when it's strobing, I'm not talking about that, but I'm looking at my lines here. So that's why I call it, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever. And I'm looking at my line. So after it turns off, I'm spinning this and I'm lining it back up to the reference mark that I was watching while I was strobing. And that's telling me where to drill. Okay, the question was about, can the left side and the right side throw the other side off? And yes, it can. That's why when we're first getting it balanced, if you notice right here, these two float, and that's what's checking the balance. In fact, as you notice, every time I touch it, look how sensitive it is. Just touch it. So that's how it picks up. I mean, sometimes I can just touch it, and I'm not even touching it down. And it'll just go on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh my God, strobe lights, fever. It's still shaking. You see that? It's very, very sensitive. Okay. While the crank can be real far off, it'll throw the other side off and you'll be chasing your tail. So what do? I have up here on my machine a left and a right. Right now, I'm checking this side. See this side? I can almost hit it and it doesn't barely move. It's going down over here and it's vibrating this one, but this one here is solid. This one is actually, the strobing is coming because it's going down to this side. This side is locked out. When I'm gonna check that side over there, a pin comes out right here. And we're gonna show you. We're actually gonna show you. Can you see? Right now, that pin is down. Oh, you see how there's nothing touching that weight. So if I want to check this side, what I do is I go and listen. Did you see that? It raised this up and made it solid, and now it lowered this side. Now this side is sensitive, see? And this side is not sensitive now. You see how I'm touching it? It ain't strobing at all, is it? It's solid. Now I cannot put this in here at all, but over here on my opposite side, which you can't see because I'm kind of crazy that way, I can now slide this up underneath it. Once again, I'm going to hit the button and you're going to see this one is going to go up and this one is going to float. Here we go. Did you see that? Now this one, look, very sensitive. This one, not so sensitive. It's going down the machine, but so there we go. Once again, if you watch these, this is going to drop down. If I were to pull here, let's do this. See that? Now it's caught. It's caught in the pin. It won't come out until I push the button. There it is. And you can even see it going down. So there you go. All right, so what did we learn? Good question. I went a long way for that question, but I mean, yeah, it's been a good question. And so what we want to do is we want to isolate the left side and the right side, and we want to balance those two separately. So what we're doing is we're isolating one side and it's solid. So now all the vibration is just one side. I'm going to get it balanced really good. Then I want to lock it in, and then I'm going to balance this side really good. Once we get both sides that are balanced, now we're going to hit the magic button. There's another button on here. There's more buttons on here, and it's force and couple. That's when we drop them both. We don't want to drop them both at the beginning because this thing is going to just go all crazy. So get one side balanced where it doesn't vibrate anymore. Get one side balanced where it doesn't vibrate anymore. Drop both pins, and now we can balance the complete shaft together. But they're already real close. So now we can balance them together and see to make sure we don't have an oscillation going on. Big words for Friday, oscillation. So there you go. That was a real good question of how you get left and right. Once we get all that balanced perfectly, guess what? Now I'll put the harmonic balancer on the front of the motor. Then I'll put the harmonic balancer on the front of the motor. We'll reset the scales up on the balancer, and then I'll spin it up and get the harmonic balancer spinning just perfect. I will no longer drill on the crankshaft. Once the crank is done, this is neutral balance, I will only correct on the harmonic balancer, not the crankshaft. We don't want to correct on the crankshaft because we had a bad balancer. We want to correct the balancer. It's neutral. If there's a problem, you can replace the balancer without having to rebalance the whole motor. Then I'll put the flywheel on. and then we'll balance the motor with the flywheel on it. There's a lot of people who bolt everything on, and it's great that you're gonna bolt everything on. I appreciate bolting everything on, but they take a shortcut. They bolt everything on and balance it one time. The problem with that is that we may be correcting on the crankshaft because of a bad flywheel or harmonic balancer. For a neutral balance, we don't really want to do that. We want it perfectly balanced. And then as we start adding components, keep perfectly balancing them. But don't correct on the crank anymore. That was perfect. Correct on the parts that you're bolting on. Does that make sense? Some people I see have a perfectly balanced motor, but then a harmonic balancer goes bad and you change the balancer and the whole balance of the job goes to crap because the guy did his corrections on the balancer, not on the crankshaft. All right. That's smart. Thank you, D-Spanky. What else do we have? I'm going to drill some more. I'm going to use, so I need to work out some more anyway. Yes, NB, that was exactly what it can cause it to be out of balance on the other side. Half drunk as kids. I guess y'all talking about the eggnog. There's customers to find. Shop mom is taking care of customers. She's also taking care of payroll today. She's also taking care of a lot of stuff. So she's not reading this because if you've seen, she hadn't chimed in at all. And hey everybody, if you're new to the channel, just being on today, and I want to be blatantly tell the darn truth. I'm real close to my 4,000 bazillion hours of view time, and I'm real close. This weekend I can get it. So I think if I just let the camera run all day, you don't get the credit for the live stream, but afterwards, if it stays on, you get the credit for anybody who watches it after that. I find it a little easier than doing any editing to just come on and live stream. Is that an externally balanced crank? Very good question. And you're wondering, am I going to answer that very good question? No, it is not. It is a Chevrolet. It's a 409. It's internally. I don't want to say most Chevy small blocks and big blocks. The 409 fits in the middle. I want to hear the story of the 409 and Smokey Yunick? No, you don't. But it's internally balanced. The 400 small block is externally balanced. The 454 is externally balanced. The 396 and 427 is internally balanced. The 350 is internally balanced. The 283, 327, most of them are internally balanced. The LS is internally balanced. Do you all know what internally balanced and externally balanced means? If you need to know what that is, now's the time. I'm going to hee-ho this back over there while y'all are thinking more questions or not, or I don't know. I feel pretty happy Friday. I got Christmas music also playing in the background in the back of the shop. I don't have it loud in here because I don't want to offend any monetization funds is really what I don't want to offend. Sometimes you got to be music. Nah, I'm not going to go there. Never mind. I don't know the difference. Okay, Charles, I'm going to explain to Charles, everybody else, hang in there and get the explanation. Tell us the difference, please. Yes, Jessica. Okay. Internally and externally balanced, all that means is we got to go. I may drop the video on balancing that I've been working on for a while. I'll have to now read Ted's, but let me stay focused on this one. I'm doing a general balancing video so you can get the hang of what goes on in balancing. It's with my videos, they go kind of long because I get sidetracked. I'm having a difficult time explaining this because there's so much involved in it. So let's make it real simple. Piston, connecting rod. They go on this side of the crankshaft. And you say this side, well, then show me what this side means. They go on the opposite side of the weight. There's a counterweight there. That's really what I need to do, just explain. You said you want closer anyway, so we'll just get closer anyway. I'm sorry I'm moving everything around too much. I'm just trying to be, and I'm going to try not to kick it down too much. How's that? I apologize way too much, don't I? All right, I'm going to stop apologizing. All right, so here's the counterweights. These counterweights, they counterweight the connecting rod and the piston on this side. So whatever the piston and the connecting rod weigh on this side, whatever weight we have over here, we have a counterweight to make it balanced. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. We have the weights and the counterweights. In performance engine, in that brand new motor that we're building, the compressed air one, we even added extra weights. If you notice, the center don't have any counterweights. They generally put them on the on the front of the back of the crank to go there. On a real high RPM drag motor, we want actually counterweights on every throw, not just on the front and the rear. But that being said, that's just the way that these are done. When there's when we balance an engine, I have to use these bob weights because we can't have the connecting rods and the pistons hanging here, spinning all around, smashing everything. So that's what these bob weights are for. These simulate the connecting rod and the pistons that would normally be on this throw. So that's what these are. These weights are the same thing as me bolting the rods and the pistons in. We still don't need to even go there, but that's what these weights are. Okay. When the connecting rod and the piston weigh too much, we got to keep adding weights, correct? At a certain point, the weight cannot come out any bigger than this because the rod and the piston is here. On this side, it's on the throw side. On the back side, it's in here. So the piston would actually, that's why you have that arch in the piston. What's that arch for? Look at that. That's not coincidence that arch matches that weight. You see that? I mean, that's not a coincidence. That's because as this is spinning, that's on the down throw. On the up throw, this would be up here. There's a connecting rod in there. But as it turns, this gets brought down, and that's that arch. Okay, so now you can see a problem if my bob weight was too heavy. If my piston and rods were too heavy and I needed to add weight, I can't keep going bigger on the throws. Okay, what could we do? We could add what's called Mallory weight. That's an real heavy and expensive piece of real dense metal that weighs, I don't know if you get it from Mars or Jupiter or wherever, as much as it costs, but it's very, very heavy. So it's a lot heavier than the same area that we drill out of this crank. This weighs a lot more than we're taking out of it. So we would drill and add this on the inside of the crankshaft. This would actually be bored into it and pressed into the weight. Okay. So now that we have a little idea of what balancing is, in a race motor, we want to bring all the weights internal. What does internal mean? Is they're inside of the oil pan. Internally balanced. My weights is all on the inside of the oil pan. My harmonic balancer and my flywheel are neutral. What does neutral means? Is that it doesn't have a weight on it. This is a LS. This isn't for this motor. I can grab the one for this motor. I grabbed that one because it's my other balancing stand that I'm building on another one. It doesn't matter. Slow down. This is, and how can you tell? This is the information that you'll have forever, and throughout your whole career, if you're a mechanic or a machinist or whatever, you'll go buy something and it's going to come up. Is it an internal, external flywheel? Internal, external balance flywheel? And you go, how do I know? How do I know? This is how you know. Internal. This is Bell Endurance. This is, you all know Corky Bell? Anyway, there's no weights on it. See that? No weights. Neutral. This will be considered a neutral balance. What does that mean? I'm not going to sit there and spin like I did the other day on a video and I cut my finger. But I didn't cry on the video. I kept powering through there. All right. So there's no weights. It's neutral. Neutral means that this is perfectly balanced. I could actually balance this separately. I have a jig over here. We could mount this on this jig, spin it up, and I could balance this separately without the motor. It does not do anything to the balance of an engine. So most people, when you take an engine to get balanced, they're not going to ask you for the harmonic balancer and they're not going to ask you for the flywheel unless it's externally balanced. And that's a crappy ass shop, and I want to say it right here, and I'm sorry. Every shop, I mean, people always go, at my mom's shop, I have work to do, it's like, why do you keep telling the customer to bring the flywheel harmonic balancer? It's neutral. Don't tell them that. Well, it reflects on the balance job that I do. If their flywheel is out by a little bit, it's going to reflect on my engine. It's internally balanced. So even an internally balanced one, I always balance Flywheel, I'll balance the pressure plate. If it's a pressure plate, I'll balance my balancer. I'll balance the water pump pulley on the front. I'll balance whatever is going to touch the crankshaft. I'm going to balance. That doesn't mean everybody else is going to do it. Back to the original question. That's why my videos take way too long. All right. If it was externally balanced, they would be a weight right here. Why would they be a weight right here? Like I said, there isn't any more room on the crank to add more weight. So what did they have to do it? They had to go outside of the oil pan and add a weight to the flywheel and to the harmonic balancer. And y'all are going, thank you, Danny. Finally, wouldn't it be quicker just to go on? Sorry, that's just the way it is. So external means that there wasn't enough of room inside the oil pan. So it went to the outside of the oil pan. I use the oil pan. I mean the inside of the engine, but the oil pan. So the harmonic balancer and the flywheel are going to have a big ass weight. Did I say ash? Big ash weight on it. All right, I don't know if you can see this. Might not be able to see it. You might be able to see it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Here is for another balance job I'm doing. It's a Ford. It's a Ford small block. It's a 28-ounce external balance. If you're going to Ford, we'll go all the way out. Neutral, 28, 50-ounce. Ford has a bunch of different external balances, and you can't even put the wrong one. And not everybody. One of the most common things when people do engine swaps on the Ford small blocks is they'll do a neutral balance flywheel on an external balance crank or a neutral. Ford has neutral, 28-ounce external, and 50-ounce external. And you can mix all those up. They'll all bolt up. And boy, it'll shake like a bad dog if you got any one of those three. And a lot of times that's the problem. They don't have the combination right. So here's an aftermarket flywheel that can go neutral. What does that mean? There's no weights on it. You see that? It's perfectly neutral. So that's what I was trying to tell you. If you don't know, look at your flywheel. If it has a weight on it, it's external. So you know it's external. If there's no weight, it's neutral. It's a neutral, meaning neutral. It doesn't make any difference. Like I can steer. So there's no weights on it. So it's perfectly neutral. Here we go. This is a Ford. What did I tell you? I didn't tell you anything. What did I just say? Ford small block. There's neutral, 28, and 50 ounce. Okay? That actually weighs 161 grams. I don't remember what this one weighs, but there's the difference in the weights. So, if you're going to use this as a 289, 302, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 72, all neutrals. Then you start getting into the 80s and we start getting into some external balance stuff. And then here's what we can do. Check this out. Wait. Bam. 2 countersunk bolts. We now turn this flywheel into an external balance 28-ounce flywheel. Pretty cool, right? What did we just do? We now turn this flywheel into a 50-ounce externally balanced flywheel. Ford. Isn't that cool? Aftermarket world is awesome. We can now be neutral, 28 or 50 ounce. I guess one of the main things that I want to, that was a great question, is this. If I save one person from shaking the bejeebas out of your Ford small block, look at that. That's a lot of weight. The harmonic balancer has the same kind. It'll be an offset balancer. I have its balancer here. It's on in his shelf, and it's actually an aftermarket balancer with the weight that goes in the inside. There's quite a bit of weight difference, but that's what external and neutral balance is all about. Okay, what other questions? Do we have any other questions, or I'm gonna keep? Where was I on that one? Did I already drill it? I'm going to drill it again, aren't I? I think I am. Ding, ding, ding. What do we? All right, that was the answer. We took forever and ever and ever and ever. I don't know what else. It's hot in the balance room, and this is Texas. This is Texas. So in the morning it's cold, and noon it's not. And so I have an extra shirt to remove. And yes, it is. It is a SEMA shirt. All right, what's up? I don't know what's up. All right, we got 36 people in the room still, which is pretty cool because we're just talking about balancing. And any balancing questions that you have, shoot them. There was some questions. Sorry, crank counterweights. Yes. Uh-oh. A shoulder went in the oven. There you go. Happy holidays. We're going to be making some tamales. I thought about doing a tamale video, but that doesn't go in all the YouTube says don't do all kinds of crazy videos. Stick to your genre. So, okay, but I think we're going to make some tamales this weekend. Thought, y'all want to join us in tamale making? I don't know. All right. External is front, rear weights. Internal can be crank lobes. Yes. Very, very, very cool. Hey, Wade. Everybody's thinking, well, we don't normally do this anymore. I know. What if you balance at 10 left side and 4 right side? Can that balance crank, Danny? Yes, you can still do it. It's off. Right now, I'm off more on one side than the other. That's okay. That's why we isolate the left and the right. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be right on the money. This particular crank, like I said, being a 425 horse engine, a 425 horse 409, what it actually was the 400 horse version of it. And I had a stash set of original 425 pistons. They're real close. They're both forged pistons, but in 62, they upped the compression. So they didn't remove as much off the top. Tamales, there you go. So we're doing a piston swap on it. I'm also doing some other little stuff. We're going an Isky solid lifter cam. It's old school Isky. If anybody knows me, I'm totally into real American-made quality stuff. I would have put a roller cam. The last 409 we built, I'll hold this all day. We did do a 2.4, and we went roller on that. We went stroker and roller on the inside of that one. I'll go roller no matter what in just about everything. But depending if it's a restoration, if it's going to go into a museum, a concourse restaurant or something, we want to keep it solid. This particular customer, Rick from the Paint Spot, Rick, you're not watching and you should be watching. This is your crank here. He's an old school guy, and we actually get along really, really well because he's old school. He wants solid lifter cams. He doesn't want modern nothing. So we ain't going to go fuel injected. We actually have an original 2-deuce setup, intake manifold, factory. It's actually the factory pistons, factory connecting rods, all factory stuff. So he's going to an old school, all badass. So what do we do? We put the Z33 cam solid lifter from Isky, even though it's solid lifter, and he didn't want to go roller, which I'm like, oh, please go roller, but check these puppies out. What's so cool about these lifters? It's not that. I want to see if you can see this. Bam. Can you see that? I'm changing it. I know I can see it there. I want to see if anybody can see it. I'm going to spin it. And I want to, there. Somebody can see it. Somebody tell me if you can see what I'm showing. A little tiny hole. I'm glad you can see it. Does anybody know what that is? Does anybody know what that tiny little hole at the bottom of the lifter? And no, it's not an imperfection. And I got a set of, I got a couple of sets in my case of Smokey Yunick pistons. He would work real close with Crane. And this wasn't the first time. And I don't want to just speak out of turn and say Smokey Yunick invented it. But I'll be back. I'm back. See, you didn't think about that. Um, that's called a pee hole lifter. Here's the problems. And I know y'all ain't looking at my hair because it's good. Don't look at me. I'm all sweaty and stuff. But what am I talking about? The lobe and the, okay. They're called pee hole lifters. We all know, and if we don't know, I need to do a YouTube video. I think me and Faye have talked about this. Oils. Don't get me going on oils because it'll be even a longer discussion than I have time for. But flattening cams. There's no more zinc and phosphorus in our oils. We know that. And who am I looking at? I always look at the wrong person. And excuse me if I'm not focusing on you because I really want to focus on you. You know who I'm talking about too. So there's no more zinc and phosphorus in oils, and we're flattening cams terribly. That's a whole other discussion. We've already talked about it, so we're not going to go into that at all. That's why I go to a roller cam, so to not have that cam break-in problem and metal on metal. A flat tappet cam. If you don't even know what a flat tappet cam is, that's think of Henry Ford and the Model T and we got metal, a lobe, and it turns and it pushes another piece of metal up. It pushes another piece of metal. It opens a valve. All metal pushing metal. That's a flat tappet cam. There's a lobe, but it's just really rubbing the bottom of a lifter, and it pushes it up, pushes it down. A lot of friction there. A roller cam is going to have a roller bearing there. So it's going to roll up on the lifter and roll around. Less friction and less wear. That's all fine. That's why they remove zinc and phosphorus. I said I wasn't going to talk about oils. That's how they remove zinc and phosphorus from our oils, because everything in the modern world is a roller cam. Well, what if you have an old school? What if you have a Chevy 350? What if you have a 409? What if you're Rick and you don't want to put a roller cam in it? Like I said, I got some lifters, so this goes way back to the Smokey Yunick days. I don't know who invented it, but I know I've seen them. I got them on my shelf. They're called pee hole lifters. So they use a laser now, and they laser a hole at the bottom of the lifter to force oil to the lobe. Oh, just awesome. Just a little bit of trickery, dickory dock. It's just a little bit of oil pressure put at the bottom of that friction spot. Since I can't get rid of the design, because Rick doesn't want that, he wants old school, I can still embrace ways to make that last longer. What I would also do is, we have a 302 Chevy that we did for another customer, and I had the cam hardened. I had it actually hardened because we're going to go flat tap it. It's a 302 Chevy. He wanted to keep it solid. He didn't want to go hydraulic. So in that particular instance, another one that wants a solid. So what did we do on his? We had comp actually nitrite the cam, and then we're using a pee hole lifter at the bottom as well. Comp will also do, I don't know if Iski does, will do a cam break-in for you. They actually have a machine now that they'll break in the cam and send it to you. So that being said, isn't that cool? So if you've never seen a pee hole lifter, if you've never seen one here, you can actually say you saw it here first. If you have seen a pee hole lifter, then you just saw another one. So, but I thought it was pretty cool. Most people have not seen or ever heard of a pee hole lifter. So that's the newest technology. I say newest, but once again, I got the lifters from Smokey he's been gone for a long time, and they're pee hole lifters. So Smokey was doing this a long time ago. But now if you were to call Iski like we did and had a set of the pee hole lifters or comp, they know what you're talking about. Use up the pressure above, up the oil volume and pressure. Yes, and I'm old school, but what does Smokey say? Do you want to get into all the Smokey says? Because here's a general rule of thumb that's never ever let me down. All we need is 10 pounds of oil pressure. And remember this, once again, for all your newbies out there that are diagnosing a problem, there's exceptions to these rules. There's a bunch of screwed up engines that you have to compensate for bad design. But besides those there, don't get me going which ones they are, 14 for the Cleveland being one, we have to compensate for a bad faulty oiling system. So that's a different thing, okay? But in the norm, 10 PSI per every 1,000 RPMs is all that is needed. Anything more than that, you're just giving away horsepower. And if you're one of those people that just, I got too much horsepower, I just got too much, then fine. Then fine. I don't know a lot of people that I had a customer want to know why the pistons that I was picking aren't the pistons that he's picking. And he races Road Atlanta and he races the Circuit of the Americas, you know. And I'm like, man, never known many, I don't know many people that is like, man, I got too much horsepower. I said, well, you had a set of Venelia pistons in there. Yes, there's $1,100, $1,200 pistons, and you want to put a set of $600 pistons. It's almost half of the price of the piston you had in it. And I'm like, well, golly, I don't know many guys that actually race, not just go out there and bracket, but actually race and compete that have ever said, I got too much power. He said, well, I never said that. I said, yeah, you did. You said you don't want to put that piston in. You want to go in and put this Icon piston in. Yeah, it's a forged piston. They're both forged. Yeah, it's going to give you the same compression. You're going to add 20 grams of weight on that piston. The Vanola you had in has a thin ring package, and then it had a Dykes ring. It has a tool steel pin. It has all these different. It's actually a hardened anodized piston. The one that you're picking is a forged piston with a coated skirt. A coated skirt is not the same as a hard anodized piston. Your apples are. I said, man, I've never. Like I said, I don't know most people that go, golly, I got too much power. You know, I already have to let off because I leave everybody behind so much. I've never heard that. And he said, why? Like I said, why didn't I? You know, I said, well, that's what you did say. You can't say I want to win, but I want to skimp on piston. I said, so it's in here because you broke a piston, you destroyed a motor. It wasn't our build. That had nothing to do with it if it was or wasn't. I said, but he just bought this vintage Corvette race car. It's a vintage race car that races the circuit. So it's like you weren't, in other words, you got too much power already. The motor you had in it was actually built at one time awesome. This thing has cut down counterweights, 6-inch connecting rods, hard anodized pistons. I can see this stuff. This isn't a average build. This guy who built this motor knew his shit. What did I see? It went a little on the long side before getting freshened up. You know what took this motor out? A C-clip. A C-clip on the piston clip that holds the pin in. Go read Smokey stuff. He's lost an engine because of C-clips. He invented the dual spiral locks because of losing a C-clip in an endurance motor. It's not something that happens in a drag motor ever. But in an endurance motor, this guy's not running the 500 miles of Daytona, but he is running the road Atlanta, road course and whatever. It's a vintage class, so it's a little bit different. They don't want to beat these cars up. So, like you said, everybody gets packed up in the little packs. That being said, I don't even know why I'm going there. But the point was you had a killer motor. The problem was you bought this motor, you got a log with this motor. You knew how many hours this motor already had. And you thought, let me get another 10 or 20,000 miles, or not miles, or hours of running time. So what happened was his log, he said, you know what? I'm going to get 40 hours in it, not the 25 that the log said in it. If he would have pulled this motor down and freshened it up, you would have seen, you saw Shop Mom there. I'm going to go see if Shop Mom has something for me, has a question for me. But, so it could have been saved. If this would have been brought down in maintenance in the right time, you would have seen that the clip was getting hammered. We could have dealt with it at that point and could have just done a freshen up. But he waited too long. It beat that C-clip out. Not only do I know this, the C-clip got pushed out and beat in the piston for hours and hours of racing. It sat there in the piston and just beat the cylinder up for hours and hours. He saw a little smoke, so he could have stopped this. I'm going to go see what Shop Mom has to do, but I'm not going to turn it off because then I might not come back. I'm going to run out there and make sure I'm not, have to talk to a customer or something, and I'll be right back. Should I aim it I'm going to aim it at the iPad so y'all can see yourself, y'all can type and see yourself on the iPad. still doing my now, you have to, right? We got to stop this. When I saw him tag, I thought, oh, look, they didn't put a little bolt but they didn't have a bolt there. The 8 cents are strip. Anybody see that? Y'all talking amongst each other? It's 40 degrees in Minnesota. I want to go. Hey, farm girl with chickens. I've been following you on YouTube now. What? I found it. Something. That is chili. Chili Willy. And I'm still not going to have a beer. It's not time yet. Don't let Trap Mom see that I'm just getting another bottle of water, but I have a little ice chest on my table there, but look, I grabbed water. We miss y'all too. I'm blatantly just trying to get minutes, and I'm just, but we are talking balance stuff, so it's good. I look terrible. Sorry, I actually got to go take the thing off. I look terrible. I'm sorry. We're just having fun, answering questions. Can you break up and see my balance question? Yes, I will. I most definitely will. Because it gives me something to do. Let me see your balance question. Let's see, Ted. What do we got? Ted. Cheap, fast, reliable. Pick 2. Yes. Most definitely. Is it the oil pressure one, Ted? And I wasn't gonna get to that. Is that the one, or is it before that one? I'll address the oil pressure one. Here's the deal. That's why I get all sidetracked. I was still talking about oil pressure. You only need 10 psi of oil pressure to make an engine run, to stay together. Anything more than that, you're just compensating for a lack of knowledge. That sounds sense. You're just compensating for problems. You cannot compress a liquid. Okay, so since you cannot compress a liquid, think about it. If my engine only needs 10 psi per every 1,000 RPMs, means that idling at 900 RPMs, 1,000 RPMs, I only need 10 psi of oil pressure. But in this industry, we have tricked or finagled everybody, or whatever the industry has, that if you don't have 60 pounds at idle, there's something wrong with your motor. So everybody wants to put a high volume pump on every damn thing. Excuse my language, because it'll get me going and ranting and raving about that. And it's no. We don't need 60 pounds at idle. That's 50 pounds more oil pressure than you needed. I broke an oil pump as a kid, cold winter morning. I wanted a high volume oil pump. I had damn 60 pounds of oil pressure at idle. I thought it was the baddest dude around. If we're doing oil pressure drag racing, boy, I whooped everybody's ass. Excuse me, everybody's chip or whatever they do. So, no. You can't compress the liquid. I actually blew the oil pump shaft end apart. It just wasn't good at all. So, we don't want to overcompensate by just flooding the motor with a buttload of oil to make up for a problem. I don't put high volume oil pumps on. I'll tell you right now. If I'm going to use a high volume oil pump, guess what I'm going to use? Anybody? We're going to use a high volume oil pan. They're not made to be used separately, but everybody in the industry does. I know personally many shops that only sell HV55 oil pumps for Chevy, high volume Chevy. It's an M55 mailing number on a Chevy small block, and they sell the HVs, high volumes. I'll use a high pressure pump. I'll use a high volume if I'm putting an aftermarket pan. When you use a high volume pump in a stock pan, people don't realize there's not a lot of oil in that pan. It's a 5-quart system. The oil filter takes 1 quart if you use the tall filter. The engine takes 3. You got 3 quarts in the pan, 4 quarts in the pan. And then you're going to put a high volume pump on it, and you're going to suck that pan dry. If you're going a quarter mile, you might not, eighth mile, you might not see it at all. Quarter mile, you might see it at the end. You'll see the light just start flickering. Just at the end, as you're coming through the traps, I hear people all the time, right there at the end, I'll get a little flicker, but it's right there when I'm shutting down. A lot of times, engine will survive that. The engine will survive that for years of drag racing, bracket racing. But it's not going to do it in a sucker track endurance situation. So if I get on the highway here on 281 and there's no officers looking at me, I don't know if I should even say it. You can get up, when you drive to Blanco, you can get up in this, a good long stretches. You can sucker pan drive really, really quick. In the hill country, this is Texas, you can get from light to light as you can actually get, if you live in town, you might not ever sucker pan drive because from one light to the other, there's going to be another car in front of you. You're never going to get there. So I had a lot of people go, oh, bullshit, that doesn't true. No, well, it is. I will suck the pan dry from here to my house if I get on it. So we don't want to suck the pan dry. If we're going to put a high volume pump, put a high volume pan. When we do turbos, single turbo, twin turbos, what are we doing with that oil besides just lubricating all the engine parts? We're also lubricating 1 or 2 turbos, maybe an oil cooler. I want high volume because I'm going to be pushing a lot more volume to a lot more areas than just the rod bearings and the main bearings. I'm most definitely not going to use a standard oil pump. It's going to be pumping it all over the place, an oil pan, standard oil pan. So that being said, there's your answer on flooding the motor just to compensate for not doing a proper cam break-in. Also, another thing that's a problem in these days with our oils, don't get me going, is spring pressure. Everybody treats spring pressure the way they treat oil pressure. If I ain't got 60 pounds, there's something wrong with the motor. If I ain't got 200 pounds of spring pressure on the seat, it ain't, wrong. You only need 10 pounds of spring pressure more than a valve float. That makes sense? You only need enough spring pressure to keep the valve from floating. The problem is we don't know when the valve floats. If we're doing a circle track motor, a road course motor, we learn from this motor every time that we service the motor. When it comes in, no problems. The first thing I'm going to do right off the bat when I get involved in your project is we're going to make it reliable. Forget horsepower. I'm going to see what you have and what's not making this motor reliable. Why aren't you having fun? Like I tell everybody, I don't care how fast it is, and you spend the rest of the race with the car and your trailer and you're watching everybody else from the stands. That's not a lot of fun. So you got to be on the track first, okay? Reliably. Every weekend, you got to start and finish the race. That's the first thing, reliability. The next thing, it ain't no fun being behind somebody. But I'm not going to worry about being behind somebody yet. We're going to worry about, I need to get you on the track and you to start and finish the race reliably. So the first thing I do is I look at what you got going on. So as we start to freshen the motor up, at the end of the season, it comes in, we freshen it up. I'm looking at what's going on with this motor. What are we going to have to change on this motor? Because it didn't blow up, but I'm starting to see pin wear, or I'm starting to see C-clips popping. So now I'll change stuff. I'm going to put a heavier pin. This motor had drag race piston pins in it. About the only thing that I can see, it's a real short pin and a tool steel lightweight pin. So everything was fine, but it didn't have a endurance circle track piston. It had a drag race piston. It's a Venolia, it's a badass piston, don't get me wrong. I would have probably, if I had gotten involved in this in a freshen up, I wouldn't change the piston because you already have them, they're already spent. I would have put a heavier duty pin in it if I would have seen that this was happening. So there you go. We want to make it reliable. How am I going to start making you more power? When I come in and I service this engine, I'm looking for valve float. I'm looking for valve float. I'm looking for bearings. I'm looking for wear. I'm looking for things that I can see. This is giving me an indication there's something that's not like it. Okay? In the valve float, we know that by the valve stem tip. You got to look at the tip of the valve. The tip of the valve, if it has this kind of little flapping thing there, that's float. The spring wasn't closing the valve properly, and it started to float, and it started to flutter. The rocker comes across there, and it's fluttering, and it's beating up the tip of the valve. And if I see a star pattern on the tip of the valve, we got valve float going on. All right, what did that tell me? We need to start finding out, why do we have valve float? Either you're over revving the motor, and sometimes I won't tell you what it is. And if I can't find anything in the engine why it's happening, then we start adding more spring pressure because you're not being honest with me. And I'm going to stop the valve float. But are you downshifting? Are you overcoming on the rev limiter? That being said, we're not going to go into all the diagnostics of a motor, but we start to see what's happening with the motor when we start doing it. I start pulling spring pressure. I'm one of the guys that runs the weakest damn spring that doesn't cause valve float. And I don't mean the cheapest damn spring that usually comes with a beehive, and it's usually a very expensive spring. The spring is almost one of the most expensive parts of the motor because it does so much. But that being said, any more spring pressure than I need. Have you ever turned a motor when you're degreasing it, when you're doing a cam? When you're assembling a motor and you're turning this motor over and you put your crankshaft in, it spins. I can spin it with air, you know. You put your rods, your pistons in. I like a lightweight reciprocating assembly with real thin rings, so I can use a 3/8 ratchet and turn my motor on. And then you start putting the cylinder heads on, and we turn the motor on, and you start putting your lifters and your push rods in. And then every time you start putting a rocker in, oh my God, why are everybody running 300-pound springs? 300-pound springs times 16. I have to make an extra 100 horsepower just to turn the camshaft. So if we're in a class that has a lot of rules and everybody has to follow these rules, I only want 10 pounds of spring pressure more than valve float. Now you see what I'm talking about? More than valve float. The key is finding when valve float is. We learn that every time that we do a freshen up. We look at everything. I start seeing indications of valve float, up the spring pressure a little bit. I also check the spring pressure before the engine leaves, and every time that it comes in and gets freshened up, we have a log and we keep an eye on the springs. Also, you know, you should keep a log and you keep an eye on your valve train, your valve lash, your clearance adjustment. And that's giving you an indication when stuff's going south on you. I don't know where this guy, we were talking balancing, but that was a good question. I don't know. Did I go too carried away on spring pressure? I don't know. I need to spin this crank again, unless we have some more questions. Yep. I like it. Y'all are the group actually talk to each other and actually cares about each other. Isn't that different? I don't know, but I think it's different than a lot of things. You know, we care about each other. That's something. All good information. Thank you, Pat. I'm just going there. Is there one more easier question? Hey, there is one more easier question. You ask all the questions you want. I don't care. Oops, 350. I read 350 kps cold idle. Do I need to go up at Ted and see that one, or are you gonna? Is it a motor or is it an engine? It is an engine. A motor is electric, but depends. You know, what do they call it? Old school. It was, you know, why do they call it a motorcycle? I mean, old school stuff. Even some manufacturer call it a motor. In the correct terms, a motor is electric with an armature, and an engine has a crankshaft and pistons. So I used to get offended in kind of in it. You know, you call it whatever you want. I know what you're talking about. And because, like I said, there is some old school stuff they really call a motor. Look at all the old school signage. I love old vintage signs, and they'll say, you know, a motor shop. You know, and they're talking engines. You know, but all right. Ted, did I miss your simple question or a further balancing question? I can't go back far enough. Was it far? I'll go back there. I'll go all the way back. Anybody else see his? Hurton. Hey, Hurton. You're way back there and I missed it. Charles Whitman's here. Venom's here. Jackie's here. Everybody, all the, Bob is here. Grims is here. Texas Runs is here. I don't know if I've ever seen Texas Runs. You're definitely crazy. Thank you. But that's why we love you. Hey, I'll take that. What are you balancing? That was Hurton. That's a 409 Chevy. 1962 409, 425 horse, original Chevy. All right. A machine with the dolls and Neil Brown. You don't make them like that anymore. No, it's an analog. I'm an analog guy in a digital world. I say that all the time. This is still one of the best. We've had a shootout competition against the Heinz balancer years ago. John Hamilton, who's the one that taught me how to balance. John Hamilton Engine Balancing, and it's at my mom's shop. It's Michelin Auto Parts in San Antonio. You look them up, and John Hamilton Engine Balancing. And John Hamilton used to do all the balancing and engines for JBA headers out of California. And then when John years ago started and moved over to my mom's shop, and he sold all his stuff to JBA headers. So very well known, John Hamilton and Tom Hamilton, the Hamilton brothers. If you cut them, only blue blood comes out. They're just Ford guys. So John is my mentor in balancing. We all need mentors. We're all in training, papas. So I don't know what I got off on that tangent about John and balance. Oh, Stuart Warner. One of the road course engines, the owner had another shop tell him that the Stuart Warner balancer could not do close enough, and he was going to send it out. This is an engine from California. They were going to send it out to the Heinz, that one of the guys have a Heinz digital balancer. Heinz digital balancer is one of the few first digital super high dollar balancers. So we did a challenge. Two rotating assemblies off of two identical engines for this road course engine build. And one was going to be balanced by Heinz, and one was going to be balanced by John on the Stuart Warner. And then we shipped both cranks back. Okay, the crank that went from our Stuart Warner balancer over to California got put on the Heinz machine, and perfect. The crank that came from the Heinz balancer came down to here, and John, we did a video showed actually where we could tweak it even closer. So analog, and you're looking at dials and you're going, you see my numbers on my side, and it's all analog. It's all, the other one, digital is better because you can train, I don't want to say a monkey, train anybody to use it. This one, it's all hands-on. So we were able to get this road course engine balanced even better than what the Heinz could do. But the Heinz could not find any better than it could do to the crank that we did. So they checked it and said, we can't get it any better. Awesome, y'all did a good job. But when we checked theirs, no, you're off. And then it went back again. No, it's not. Came back over. Yes, it is. Anyway, long story short, look up Heinz balancers. They're not around anymore. That's just time will tell when the fly-by-nights come in and promise you the world. So Stuart Warner is no longer in business because the company went a long time ago, years ago, went out of business. But it wasn't because of the machine. And the way that you can know is there's a couple of people that have bought out all the Stuart Warner stuff. Lots and lots of people still have Stuart Warners, and so much so there's a couple of people that still service them and sell parts for them. So these are still being used, not the Heinz. So, all right. What other? I don't know if I missed your other question on balancing. I'm going down. Hey, Stephen King, D. Spanky, Hurton, Evangelist. I don't know how to pronounce names. So, about the Harley, is it possible to balance? Yes. And man, you do a Harley, and I haven't done one. But I know they can be done. My book actually has a whole section on how to do it, and it's quite difficult because it's a two-piece crankshaft. Charles Witt was talking about vodka again. I don't know why. I'm not even a liquor drinker, but peppermint. Man, I'm in a holiday mood. Okay. Anybody, apple pie, moonshine. I don't know why y'all are getting me. Shop mom hadn't been able to come in because she's been taking care of all the customers. I don't know if I can kind of hear them. And when I went over there to make sure that everything was okay, she's doing, like I said, tickets, invoices, payroll, doing everything on Friday while I'm sitting here talking to y'all. If y'all can find you a shop mom, I highly, highly recommend it. What book you mentioned about balancing? Very cool. Kind of hard, I'm sure by now. I was very fortunate. I'm the second owner of this machine. Took a long time to find it. The reason I'm saying I'm very fortunate, I'm the second owner. It's a one owner shop, and I love it when the customer kept the manual. And not only did he keep the manual, he has written inside some notes about bob weights for a Chrysler V10 right there. Then we have, those are my notes there, but all the original, this is the original service manual. This is the original balance manual. This is like gold to me. I should just take a picture of all of these and put them in a PDF file and go. Not only does he have the original service, I can't even because it's falling apart. The original, all of the original stuff from the manual. I don't want to get it all dirty now. And hold on. Christmas. We also have all of the cool stuff. So it's gonna tell me there's the instructions, the wiring. Look at that, the original sales card from the salesman. He stapled it on there. There's notes and correspondence with the original. There's the original balance sheet, the original flyer that came with it when he did it. A bunch of his notes. Then we have the original actual. Check these out. There's calculations. I need to learn how to use all these of how to do the balancing and not have to guess at it. I'm old school and I guess at it because of John. John dropped out of school in ninth grade. We're all old analog guys, and that's the way that I learned. I do have a chart up there. They have these here. When you're going to remove an ounce of weight, you can turn the chart and it'll tell you how much to remove. And awesome. So there's all the original. So there it is. Is original notes handwritten. And here's where we go. How to balance a prop. How to balance an industrial engine. How to balance a Harley Davidson. There's my Harley Davidson. So here's how to balance all these different engines. So there's the book I was talking about. And here's some of the charts that I'm talking about. There's cheat charts, and it's telling you the size hole, the drill bit you're going to use, and how deep you do it. It tells you how much weight you're removing. So after a while, you kind of get used to how much you're removing, but there is kind of a, you kind of get used to it. I ease up on it, and maybe I wouldn't have to go back and forth as much. John can hit it a lot better than I can, but he's been doing it his whole life. And I have some cheat charts up there. Those are my charts. There they are. Which tells me the exact same thing. What size drill bit, what type of metal, how deep you drill it, how much is removing. Okay. I don't know if I got Ted's. Ted, did I get all your questions? That was also nice to me. Thank you. I just think I'm going crazy here, but I talk too much. I'm sorry. It is hot here. Okay. Danny, what if you outbalance 10 and 4? Can you? Yeah, we got that. I can. Like I said, we can isolate both sides, get them perfect, and then drop them both. That's sounding pretty good. We can isolate it and then drop them both. Well, I don't know about that either. Stop it. Going ding ding. Yes. What's up? Tamales. Okay. Yes, please. This Vanessa live streams thus far. Oh yeah. I hope I don't mess it up now. This is pretty good. This was a while back. This is the 2. So what time is it now? So I don't want to mess it up now. I gotta know that it's been confirmed that it's been an excellent live stream by one person. But Cody, I'll take that. Thank you. Gotta head back to work. Thanks, Danny Shop Mom. Take care. Thanks, Cody, for being in. Yum tamales. How do I get on a list for engine build? Oh, how do you get on our list for an engine build? Shop Mom. We are actually 2 years out, but that being said, a lot of our engines that they're doing a full rotisserie build, they're doing a custom car, they're doing a restoration, and it'll take them that long to build the engine, so to build a car. If it's a full a concourse restoration or a street route, whatever it is. So we're building the engine at the same speed as they're building the car. And what I tell everybody, you just keep with Shop Mom, and we'll make sure that when the car's done, we're done. That being said, a customer came in a little while ago and wants to bring in a 6-cylinder Ford out of a Mustang. It's kind of a restoration, a little tweak on power. And what's the average? You know, I said, well, we're out to 2 years if you're going to get in line and wait years. But that being said, if it's something simple and quick, sometimes you can do 4 or 8 weeks, you know, just depends. What we'll do is he'll come in, we'll tear it down, hot tank it, estimate it, make sure that we got something good to work with. We call you, you either come down or we do it on the phone or we do however. We determine what we're going to do. And then once we get that determination, we got to go. Now you're in the go section as opposed to just tear down estimates section. Then we put you in line correctly behind somebody else. But if you say, you know, really 6 months, or I'm doing a paint job, I'm painting the car, whatever, 6 months or 4 months, whatever. What I mean by that is we just had one that we did in 6 weeks. It was an LS motor. It was a freshen up. It's going to be cam swap, light spring cam swap. And it's basically a stock LS balance, cam swap, and spring change. But it was very simple ing, but it still was in the back of the line with everybody else. Well, some people started waiting and let me, you know, he said, go ahead. You got the okay, boom. I'm going to even go in and put some money down on it. And guess what? We had an engine. Actually, it was this balance job. We're waiting for some parts. Guess what? That one's already okay. He's already put some money on it. It's a simple one. This one here is ahead of his, but I'm waiting for some parts on this one. Let's see if we can get that one knocked out. So anyway, that being said, we did do one. It's a miracle one. It was the Christmas miracle. It happened in 6 weeks. So those are possible, but don't plan on that. But what else? Really good information. All right, yeah. The little tiny hole. I'm up to the little tiny hole now. Stop it, y'all. But it is Friday, so alrighty then. All right, the second guess with the whole the brusher. I've been heard everything. Cheap, fast. Hey Elaine, that's when Shop Mom walked in. I'm catching up. Oh, it's crickets. Yes, I walked to go see if Shop Mom was okay, and I did take off my other shirt because it was hot. Echo in Spanish doesn't have H. Echo. Okay, I hear music. Did you hear some Christmas music? That was Pat. Like I said, wherever, Minnesota, 40 degrees. Trejo's Tacos, yes, please. Who has Trejo's Tacos? I followed down that Trejo. I think he's awesome. I think he's real. I haven't seen anything that I just not just like, man, I could hang with that guy. I'd love to have some of his tacos. So I'm gonna have to just go to California just to have Danny Trejo's tacos. Okay. Who I found? Home grilled chicken, yes. Anybody have anything? Are we just? Is it almost beer 30? No. Oh, it is almost beer 30. We may almost make it to the 3 o'clock time to happy hour. Rain and wind, 12 degrees Celsius in Dallas. Who uses Celsius? No, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people do. I'm not there. Before it's a little chilly here in Florida. Reminds me. Yes, and Jessica's from Florida. So you're right there, and I don't know how. You've already gone and seen Don. Tony gave you who to ask for, and you got the special tour. I'm jealous, but I'm not jealous because you went. So I'm living through you. Is awesome, Jessica. So I don't know if you made it over to Smokey's land yet, or where the shop was. All right. That being said, I see drag racing, 10 pounds. There's exceptions to these rules. If I'm doing a big block Chevy, we're talking oil pressure, Abraham. So we're talking oil pressure. And when we start getting into the bigger diameter main journals, we can still achieve the 10 pounds per 1,000 RPM, but we're using a thicker oil as well. And depending on how much boost or how much load is in on it, then we can crank up. But that's exceptions to the rules in a drag race car, depending on the size of the main. The bigger the main gets, the more clearance we need, and it's still equivalent. When I used to cut Cummins cranks that were that big, and man, the oil clearance was wide. I'm used to a small block Chevy, 1,500 oil clearance. I'm thinking, oh my God, there's no way it's gonna have oil pressure. It's in reference to the diameter of the journal. All right. What else? Yep. High pressure. Yes, Edward. That's right. Can you curve a distributor next, Danny? I got my distributor machine, and I really want to do that because everybody does want to see curving. The last time that I used it, Trey has a good interview with Mike Tyson. He seems to be very down to earth. Yes, he does, Charles. I haven't seen anything. Just I haven't been to Smokey Shop yet, but it's next on my list. All right, you're gonna have to put a camera and do a live stream just from the parking lot. I think it's just not even a parking lot. I think it's just the field right now. Awesome. I'm glad you like Smokey. Yes, I will do. The distributor machine could be a live stream. It can actually be a curving a distributor. So what I got to do so we don't have this humming noise that's terrible on this machine. Y'all know what a distributor machine is. It spins the distributor, and we have a dial, and we can actually check the advance. I can spin it up. The machine actually has vacuum motor on it, where we can actually control the vacuum, pull the vacuum advance. We can check the weights when they open. On the bottom side, inside the machine, there's a big disc that spins, and there's a triangle cone. And when you turn the dial, the cone goes further in. If the cone is further out, the disc turns, real slow. As I start bringing the cone in, because the cone gets bigger, it starts to speed up a disc. So that's how you control the speed of the distributor. So that cone is made out of rubber. And what happens is that a lot of these distributor machines are old. This one happens to have historic value in San Antonio. If y'all are from San Antonio and you know Jimmy Who, and you would know what I'm talking about, it's Jimmy Cartwright. But when he started answering the phone at one of the oldest speed shops in town, he was always hanging around the shop. And Roy Thomas, another old timer, and he built Roy Thomas. I need to get him in here. He did Billy Gibbons' Porsche. He's done a lot of stuff for Jack Chisenhall, for Vintage Air. So anyway, he would always hang around the shop. So Roy says, I like to get these old timers, because then if you want to hear me not talk and listen, get the old timers in here, because that's what I thrive for, is knowledge like y'all. I'm in training. I'll sit there and listen for these stories. So he used to hang around the shop all the time, and they would say, if you're going to hang around the shop, answer the phone. So he started answering the phone because he was always hung out at the speed shop all the time. So he'd answer Jimmy Cartwright, and everybody would, Jimmy who? Because they didn't know who he was, but they started just telling him, well, answer the phone to do something. Jimmy Cartwright, So everybody was Jimmy Who. So everybody in San Antonio, old time speed shop, going back in the day, seems like a lot of people know Jimmy Who. And his name wasn't Jimmy Who, it was Jimmy Cartwright. So he just, a little while back, several years back, I've been looking for a distributor machine for a long time. My mom has one in her shop, and long story. I'm looking for one for me for a long time, and I asked Roy, I said, if you ever see one come across, I ask everybody that knows me, I'm always looking for a distributor machine. I'm still looking for a newer one. And then he said, you know what, Jimmy Who may still have his. After he started hanging around, there's all these little stories, and I get all crazy and stuff. After he started hanging around there for a long time, he actually started doing curving distributors. Well, let's get him to do something. And he actually was really good at it. And everybody in town, he's still alive, but knew him as all distributors went over to Jimmy Who. So Roy says, man, I wonder if Jimmy Who still has his distributor machine. He used to do all of ours. That's what we just had him do them. And then he had the distributor machine in his garage, and he would do them for everybody. So he said, I'm going to make a call, whatever. Long story short, his health is going down. His wife called. He's in the garage, blah, blah, blah. We made it happen. We got Jimmy Who's distributor machine. Whew, that was long and winded. So what I'm going to do is, online I've seen how I can machine a aluminum cone and put O-rings on it. So I'm about to tear mine down and take that out. What everybody would do, after you spin up a distributor, you got to pull it all the way out and stop the machine before you turn it off. Everybody would just turn it off and leave it in. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Hey, Shop Mom. Are you there?
I'm here.
You going to come in?
Huh?
Come say hi.
No, I got a customer outside. Where's the camshaft for Joe, what's his name?
Look, see?
Turn the computer off.
Sorry.
All right, let me get the cam. I'll be right back. I'm gonna give a cam for customer.
I don't see it.
It's right here. I'll put it aside.
Parts for the hedge, or I don't know if you want some of the old ones, they're right there. I want the ball, or you can walk off of it. The fork here? I didn't want to walk off or fall.
Thank you, Abe. Okay. Who's in? Who's even there?
Everybody. Want to see her?
I can't. I have to work. Oh yeah. Hi, Charles. Hi, Charles.
She's saying hi. She's doing all the work.
And as we say here, Soliz Navidad.
Oh, Soliz Navidad is what we say here in Casa Soliz. It's instead of Feliz Navidad, it's always been Soliz Navidad. My last name is Soliz, so it's Soliz Navidad. Everybody sing with me. Soliz Navidad. Hi, Shot Mom she's doing all the work today. As usual. As usual. So as soon as she finishes the piece and assembly degrees, Jackie, piece and assembly degrees, thanks everybody. If you're heading out, I have to go attend an AC webinar. All right. Keep up with those ASC stuff. I wish we still had some ASC questions, but kick butt. You're kicking it. Keep doing what you're doing. That's Jackie. So yes, we're just very, 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 very impressed with you. Awesome. You're doing what you should be doing. I learned on a Sunday distributed machine in the 60s, advanced curve, one of the most important. It is. So all the engines that we build, we generally 90% of the motor we run. We tune here before they leave. Thank you, Jessica. You're an inspiration for the next generation of not only girls, but kids. So Feliz Navidad. Yes. Oh, the damn autocorrect! You had to fix it. Anyway, Jessica, you're doing awesome. You're doing awesome. I don't want to embarrass you, but you're doing awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't. I love what you're doing. You're just learning it all. TIG welding. Go learn some TIG welding. You can learn MIG, WIG, and everything else. TIG will do all of it. You might as well go in and learn that. It's actually pretty cool. But if you want to learn how to weld, I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't a welding one and you're about to leave. Go do your ASC things. If you're still here and you're not, I wanted to say this earlier. You know how an old timer showed me? Mr. Dickey, my welding instructor in junior high or somewhere, is going to stick with you forever. Get you an oxyacetylene torch, the regular gas torch, borrow one from somebody, and start running beads on a plate. Running beads, you're gonna get the metal cherry hot with the torch, and you're gonna get the little bead to start, getting cherry red, and then you're gonna move it down that plate. You're going to move it down the plate. You take a coat hanger, start adding a little metal, and you're going to move that bead down the plate. Start putting beads up and down the plate with a oxyacetylene torch. And the reason being is you need to learn how to control heat. And that probably answers the questions for a lot of stuff in all reality. We need to learn how to control heat. Once you're the master of that, you can control heat. You're going to burn a hole in a plate. Start off with a thin plate. You're going to burn a hole in a plate. That's going to tell you to either speed up or back off. Right? And then you're going to get to a thicker piece of the plate. Guess what? You're going to either have to get closer or slow down. Slow down to put more heat in there, speed up to take heat out. Why am I telling you all of this? That's going to make you the best welder in the world. It's almost like everything else that I teach you. Why teach you the how to cut rings with the machine? You don't know what you're doing, so you don't have no clue what you're doing. The reason this is so important in welding is that you're going to know how to control heat. Once you do that, you're going to pick up a TIG welder with a foot pedal. Mama, you're going to just get it, and everybody's going to go, what in the world is this girl doing? Because you learned with the analog world. Then you got over here in this digital TIG welder, and you kicked butt. Everybody that I've ever taught how to TIG weld, I won't even teach people how to TIG weld anymore. They tear up all your tungstens, your tip, your bits. Why? They have no clue how to hold the darn thing. They have no clue. TIG welding uses your foot, your hand, your other hand, your head, and so your whole body is using it. So when you're using a oxyacetylene torch with the coat hanger and you're manipulating the heat, I'm turning the torch that way to make the bead go that way, I'm getting thicker, I'm getting closer, I'm getting further. You're doing it the old school way. Now all of a sudden you got a foot pedal. I'm TIG welding, I touch the foot pedal, I need more heat, I need less heat. But you already got that rhythm because you already know what you were doing. I want to teach people how to TIG weld anymore because they just use up so much of your torches. That's a $300-400 torch. You're gonna burn a torch for the first time. Guess what? The one person that I walked away from the TIG welder in about 15 minutes, and I had a couple of questions to answer for him. In 15 minutes, he was like a natural. He never welded in his life. You know what he did do? He grew up and his dad had a radio shop and they would solder. And he would solder circuit boards for this old-time radio shop. His family had a radio shop. So he grew up in a radio shop. Well, he knew how to solder. Well, if you know how to solder, that means you're delicate with you could burn up the board. He was a natural. He already knew heat. He already knew how to move. He already had the fundamentals. So that's why. There you go. If you're still here, get you an acetylene torch and learn on that, and then go to a TIG welder. You're done. All right. I don't mean to go in welding. This isn't a welding class. Or is it? No, it's not. All right. I don't know. I don't know if I'm still here. Am I still here? Okay. Awesome. Wait. We'll go into. I do have some videos that are started. I don't know what I'm going to drop on Tuesday. I have some welding videos, and like the same with everything I do. I'm not teaching you how to weld because there's plenty of welding videos out there. I'm teaching you how to weld automotive aluminum. There's a difference. If you ever try to TIG weld aluminum on an intake manifold or an oil pan, I don't care how good of a TIG welder you are. Welding a sheet metal intake manifold out of brand new sheet metal, or welding a panel on a aluminum trailer, that's different. That's aluminum, brand new aluminum. What happens to porous aluminum? Not cold rolled, not extruded aluminum, cast aluminum. It's been casted. It's porous. Harley Davidsons would leak oil just idling. Jaguars, if there's no oil, if your Jaguar does not drip any more oil on the floor, there's no more oil in the engine. They were so porous that oil actually just seeped through the casting. Can you believe it? It's like a sponge. It's like a rock, a lava rock. Oil actually just seeps through it. As we got better with casting aluminum, they got denser and denser. So oil doesn't seep through anymore. But look at all the Harleys and Jaguars. There's a lot of old BSAs, a lot of old stuff that the engine is just oily. It's just seeping through the motor. So that being said, how do you weld aluminum that's embedded with oil? You try to weld it, that's just coming out of there. So I do have a video that I'm in the works on. It's not how to weld, it's how to weld automotive aluminum. There's a difference. We need to clean. We need to remove the oils out of there, or we're going to have a contaminated weld. If you're welding into a water port, contaminated weld ain't going to do you any good. It may be structurally strong, but it's going to have pinholes in it where you could have a water leak. Okay? If it's going to go into an oil pan or into oil, we could have an oil leak. So we're not just welding for structure. See, that's the difference when you're welding automotive aluminum. Unless you're welding a bracket, which you don't need to be on my channel, you need to be on the bracket channel. I'm just joking. It's going to be an internal part. So you're not just welding because, we do a lot of BMW oil pans, Mercedes oil pans. They boom, boom, boom. A lot of oil pan repair. A lot of engines now have aluminum oil pans. So, when you start to weld them, you're going to realize we're not just welding, it broke a piece of the oil pan. We're not just doing a structural repair. You can have a bunch of pit holes in it because it was dirty. It structurally could be just as strong. Not pretty, but just as strong. But if we're doing a crack into a water port, into a combustion chamber, it can't have any porosity in it at all. We can be the most beautiful structurally welded and have a little bit porosities, and we go to pressure test it, and it looks like a sprinkler. Well, that ain't going to do any good. So, there you go. I don't know. We're not getting into welding. I don't know what I do have a video that I edited out of my last video, and it's a rant. And you hear me rant right now, and it's a rant and being honest with your machinist. And it's a little bit harsh, so I didn't do it. I'm thinking of dropping it on Tuesday. Y'all let me know. Y'all want me to rant? It's just, the customer was probably going to see it, so that's kind of why I'm a little bit, and I'm not being, all I'm trying to do is I'll rant right now about it. It's just being honest with your machinist. So, do you want to hear? It's brutal. It's brutal. but it's real, and it's just kind of, anyway, I don't know. You don't want to. I don't think people want to go on YouTube and watch people rant. It's like I got, I don't want to say this, I got kids for that. I got a wife for that. I got some people who say whatever. If I want to get abused, I got a dog that will abuse me, So you don't want to. Oh, on my spare time, I'm going to go on YouTube and I want to watch somebody, rant. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you can't go to bars lately, and maybe we want to watch me rant. I don't know these things. I'm going to rely on y'all to let me know if don't rant on Tuesday. Well, what are my options for Tuesday's videos? I have a balanced one that I've been working on, that's about half done. I could either make it a part 1, part 2, a little more balance in general, how to balance. That's already in the works. I have the rant, which I pulled out of last week's video, and that could be it right there. I have the welding one started. I don't want to finish that one yet because I want to incorporate that one into Faye's intake manifold. Faye's fuel rail is in that one. I did some welding on Faye's fuel rail on that one. It's automotive welding. Some big, I don't even know what they were, 30, 40-inch rims or whatever, that I had to weld on a rim. There was a couple of welding stuff that I already have in my queue or whatever. So I want to go ahead and add phase intake welding on that one maybe, or maybe I can end it now. So anyway, it could be that one for Tuesday. It could be me ranting, which I really want to do, but I don't want to offend anybody. And the balancing one. If not, I got to come in tomorrow and shoot a video, which I don't know what I'm going to do. So I don't know. Y'all let me know. Renting is good for your mental health. It's good for my mental health, and I ought to be paying y'all. I ought to be sending y'all Patreon money because this is like a therapy. Would that be? This is therapy. It's 3:11. I heard the Christmas music stopped, but what does that mean? I don't imagine any farm sucking in the oil of the boat. Danny, not on topic. Single mass flywheel. Ooh, but it's not on topic. But there is no topic today. Single mass flywheel for Cummins 6.7 recommended. I hate. Okay. Let me think. What are you all drinking today? It's past 3 o'clock. I didn't see. Hold on. Let's see. And I should put it in a glass. I'm going to put it in a glass. Hold on. I'm going to get a glass. Y'all talk amongst yourself and see what you want me to talk about. I wanted Cherry to come on, but are y'all talking amongst yourselves? Actually, someone even said that I need to put something in it to Terry, Pachanga Friday. Terry, I don't know if you're here. We haven't been doing this anymore, so you might not be here. This is for you. My brother-in-law in Germany had these made. One for Shop Mom, one for me, and one for Faye. I actually want to have these made and see if any of y'all want any, but I don't want to speak out of time. Yes, it is beer time. It's I look like crap. Excuse me. But it says on there it goes. Any piston assembly grease Friday night happy hour 2020. And if there's anything, I know, a nice frosted mug. I want to put it on my face. I'm so hot. To use my hair too. But 2020, as bad as it's been or whatever, think about it. I wouldn't know y'all. I do think I know y'all now. I know it's false reality to think that, I maybe live in a false reality. I live in La La Land, but I do feel connected to y'all a little. It's not just a name. I do feel connected to y'all. I actually started following some of y'all, and I go see some stuff. I like what y'all do, and I like that y'all have now connected to each other. That's more important than, you know. So anyway, cheers. Merry Christmas. Merch. I haven't had any merch. My business model isn't to make money, obviously. It's just to have fun. Basically, thanks to Faye, I did not even want to be in front of a camera at all. And I was like, hey, it's like I'm just talking to family. That's why I like Terry in the room, my brother in the room, my son in the room, because it's like I'm just having a chat. But I ain't drinking this, though, and it's cold. All right, what's again? Yes, something, yes. New one, welding video. Okay, I'll do, like I said, I can't do that one unless I might edit that one short. I don't know. We are still here. Oh, man. I haven't had beer since the last live stream. I don't drink beer a lot often, just on the live stream. At home, I drink wine. So this beer's been cold in that fridge underneath my thing there for a while. This is the last beer from Jesus. Jesus brought these by as a gift and brought some drinks for Faye as well. Dropped them off for happy hour. Well, that's the last one, Jesus. Thank you. And when did you bring those, Jesus? I don't know if Jesus is even in the room, but it had to have been a month or 2 months ago or something. So it just shows I may always want to drink, and oh my God, I can't wait to drink. But I just look at it and talk about it more than I drink it. Right? I don't know. That is mighty tasty. Should just cool me off. Okay, the flywheel part question. I will say this. Happy Pachanga. Terry's in the room. I'll answer questions later. Terry. Oh, I'm done. Terry, hope you have something up and cold and tell me what you're drinking. I just tell him, I said, well, where's Terry? This is my brother-in-law. These are his glasses. Like I said, if y'all want some glasses, let Shop Mom know. And we'll find out. Actually, I think Shop Mom knows where Terry got these from, but I think these are just the finest things since sliced bread.
Back. And are you still using the 3-face?
No, I'm not. I'll go turn it off.
I'll turn it off.
You look good, Shop Mom, with the glasses on. Shop Mom's gonna go. She has to go pay bills. She has to go to the post office. I mean, y'all need a Shop Mom. Y'all need a Shop Mom. She's plenty of Shop Mom for everybody. So if you don't have a Shop Mom, she can be everybody's Shop Mom. But if you don't have a partner that's just really your better half, works harder than you do, I'm not. We're not even going there. We're not even going there. But I'm gonna go with this cold beer. I'm glad Terry came in the room. Dang. Oh, awesome. What are we talking about now? We're talking about the dual mass flywheel. Okay. Yum. Okay. You all know that what the dual mass flywheel is, it has springs inside, and it's a dual piece flywheel. Instead of being one piece, that's just a flywheel. So there's springs inside to help the shock of when you release the clutch. So they call it a dual mass, and it's a floater kind of. Here's the problem. They now sell a congratulations, DJ, but I don't know what DJ did. I'll get on the. Well, they now sell a replacement flywheel if you don't want to have the dual mass and you want to go back to an old school flywheel and not have to use the dual mass one. One of our customers in Blanco, we have Blanco, Texas, up here. There's a lot of. It's a. I don't want to say farm. It's a hill country. So there's a lot of. It's not in the city. It's Blanco, Texas. You gotta look up Blanco, Texas. Real cool. Has a courthouse in the center still, one street light. It's real cool. So it's it's a rural community. So the garage up there sells the customer on an upgrade, not a dual mass flywheel. A lot cheaper. We get rid of that dual mass. They do have a kit for it to do it. Fine, do it. He could not drive his truck. The farmer kept couldn't back up his hay trailer, hail bays or whatever, and was smashing his trailer. He couldn't get it. He could not drive his truck anymore. So he has this big Dodge truck and a gooseneck with hay bales, and he can't back it up into his barn anymore. The reason being is he doesn't know how to drive a clutch anymore. The dual mass clutch, if you were to release the clutch really quick, it has springs in there to absorb it. So you anybody can drive a standard now. You're never gonna release the clutch too fast and it's gonna stall on you. You're not gonna stall. So But now you got rid of that dual mass and it has an old-fashioned clutch now, in and out, old-fashioned. Now it's the feel of your foot, you know. And then it's a little bit different too because people that haven't driven in a linkage clutch, everything now is hydraulic clutch. It's in and out. Back in the day, all our clutches had a linkage, and it had a bar with 2 rods on it. And when you pressed the clutch, it moved, and you had another rod that pushed a rod arm, and you could adjust the feel on your foot, how far up on the pedal it was. You could also adjust. There's so much. It was the feel. I remember back in the day, you used to have a double clutch. Does anybody even know what double clutch is? It's a different. It was a feel. You release the clutch. You've got the car. And it's not as people don't know how to drive a standard. So anyway, they do make that one. He didn't like it. He did not like it at all. He couldn't drive it. He had him put the dual mass back in. Go get me an order a dual mass. So that was the dual mass flywheel. What is everybody talking about? I got the glasses from large outlet store. They had this name. South America. Aren't your glasses cool? Wouldn't everybody just love those glasses? Maybe we should get them and put them in a merch store. Maybe we can put that thing on there. Everybody can get them on their own. I don't know. But man, they're just something about drinking on a frosted glass like this. What are you drinking, Terry? I'm a lightweight. I drink Miller Lite. My brother-in-law, he's the man's man. He drinks. You can put a straw and hold the beer sideways, and the straw will stay there. It's real good thick. What's everybody talking about? Am I missing something? Granny shifting instead of double clutching like you should. Double clutching. See, a lot of the kids don't know. A lot of the adults these days don't know what a double clutching is. I don't know. I do with my big truck. I don't want to ignore anybody, so tell me if I'm not ignoring somebody. Or am I ignoring somebody? I don't know. I'm just going to watch. I don't know why this screen doesn't say anything. I shouldn't be touching this screen anyway. Oh, there they are. Oh, wow. Where's head beer? My whole favorite is, where's head beer? Anything? Who remembers? No, I'm not going to say it because Shop Mom didn't used to like that. So she's gone, but I still have respect for my wife. All right. Okay, all right then. One more. I had to learn double clutching on a tractor with no transmission. When I was in the Army, yes. See, that's, man, there was some neat stuff growing up, right? We have the kids don't have the stuff that we had. I don't know. It was different. When we were growing up, though, we thought it was just like the worst thing in the world to have to go to work with your parents or have to go work in the shop or have to go, but looking back at it, I mean, it is the memories are there. You have stuff that, like I said, double clutching. Most people don't even have you all. Does everybody in the room know what double clutching means? Yeah, but anyway, buy matches. I know. This will be the last time you see me light a cigar with a lighter, because I want to move to the side and light it. No, I'm gonna get matches. It's time for some new cigars anyway. So, all right, I feel bad now. I don't know cigar etiquette. Sorry. What else? I thought, Charles, you were going to send me some matches. I'm just joking. I'll buy some matches. This will be the last time. I do feel bad, but it's okay. It's all right. I have a 13 speed in my truck. There you go. There you go. I like a Jericho with the M22 lift and shift. I learned double clutch in 1940. Double clutching, y'all don't know, maybe you don't want to ask. Some of y'all don't want to say, hey, matches have sulfur. I know, and back in the day, you'd light the match and then you'd put it underneath there. What my buddies, usually at this time, before the pandemic, this was cigar time. So I have about 4 or 5 of us, and my buddy's a cigar guy. brings in Cubans, legal Cubans, and then use a little torch. And I have my little cutter there and all that etiquette stuff, but we're not into all that snobby stuff. That being said, I don't know. I hear shop mom. Guess it would, Charles. Don't worry. We got matches there. This will be the last time. I promise. I do promise. All right, but don't give it. Want to get many parts doors as possible. You need wood matches. All right. I don't want to offend. But so, is everybody ready for Christmas? Who's ready for Christmas? Soliz Navidad, everybody. If you weren't here earlier, that's how we say it here. Not in the hill country, but at least in our family. It's Soliz Navidad. I used to have illegal Cubans. Yes, we used to have to when they were illegal. Now he gets them. It's weird because now they're legal, and it's the one-armed Cuban is where he gets them from, and it's legal on everything else. And he really is a one-armed Cuban. It's kind of like, and he gets these boxes of these cigars, and it's weird because they have to actually make a time to meet, and like he says, they'll meet in a parking lot, and it'll be like, it's legal now. It's legal now, but it's just meeting in the parking lot to buy a box of Cuban cigars. So anyway, hope you all are ready for Christmas. Don't touch the screen. It's in Texas, two-step, double clutch. Yep. You're working on. Do you like to work on LS engines? Yeah, we're doing Corky Bells right now. Look up Corky Bell. Corky Bell wrote like I like to tease Gail about the book on turbochargers. And then Gail tells me, well, I wrote the book on turbochargers. I said, well, y'all both wrote the book on turbochargers. And I tell Gail, I said, yeah, yours has pretty pictures and Corky's is hard to read. Just to be funny. You know me, I gotta be funny. But anyway, we're doing his personal on LS. It's gonna be turboed, and it's gonna go in his BMW. It's all polished out back there. He's kind of crazy. All polished out, and I shouldn't say that. It's all just sand rolled because of fatigue. Corky Bell's an engineer. Used to work for Bell Helicopters, even though he's not a Bell like Bell Helicopters. He's a helicopter engineer. So that's Corky Bell. Go look him up. Anyway, double clutching is not too bad. Try driving an unsynchronized twin stick. Oh, I didn't read the rest of that, but anything, and that's why you double clutch, because back in the day, all that double clutching basically is you're pressing the clutch, you're going in neutral, and then pressing the clutch again and going in the gear. So because of the lack of synchronizers, you didn't want to go the grinding noise that went into the gear. Anyway, anywho, here in Spain, that it was called dictatorship. I don't know. I'm not gonna read that one. I want to go to Spain now. I want to go to Spain anyway, but I don't know. Anybody? And like I did say, I will never use a lighter again. On camera. I will never use a lighter again on camera. Okay. Just for today. After that, I'm gonna bring my little torch or bring something. Don't. I'm sorry. I am sorry. All right, have we had enough? I was trying to just get minutes on YouTube. I thank y'all. The live streams don't count as minutes, but afterwards I have the option of keeping it up as a actual video, and then those count as minutes. Takes 4,000 view minutes or hour. I don't know. It's
4,000 hours.
You tell me, Shot Mom. How much is it again?
4,000 hours.
4,000 hours.
You can't. No.
Come here.
No.
Give me huggies.
No.
Give me huggies. Come
No.
on. You can't. Look, you see. Come here.
No.
Give me a kiss. Come. You can do it. I know you can.
Okay. Ooh, you taste like beer and cigars.
Taste like beer and cigars. All right, 4,000. So I'm just trying to get those.
There was a
those
question
minutes.
about how did your turkey turn out?
Oh, the deep fried one? Oh, I can't show you the pictures because it's on there.
Yeah.
It was actually really good. Terry asked Tommy, I want to do it again for Thanksgiving. It was awesome. It's the first one we've ever done. We did it outside. We had an outdoor Thanksgiving.
We used the engine hoist to do it.
We used the cherry picker. Everybody's like, how are you gonna do it? I pulled out the cherry picker from the shop, and I was safe. It was outside. We set up 2 big, huge awnings. We had a dining area, tables and everything, and then we had a sitting area. We put out a rug out there, furniture. It was actually real pleasant. Thanks to Jen Fan. Go out there and look at these.
It's Jan Fan.
Jan Fan. So maybe not thanks to Jan Fan. Go look up Jan Fan. You've seen that we've talked about Jan Fan. We've showed them off. They're actually killer fans, and I was very blessed to have them send me my own fans after sending some to Faye, and we tested them out and stuff. And anyway, that all being said, thank you. I don't want to pronounce it wrong again. But thanks to them. We had a fan. I put it in the shop. Low battery mode. So
that means you're almost done.
we're almost done.
Yay!
So we put it out in the shop and blew out into the yard.
Terry,
and it's
he's
quiet.
almost done. Yay!
Terry, I'm almost done. Are you? The phone is gonna die. So if we lose me instantly, then you know y'all can go.
That means Shop Mom is taking him home.
And the shop mom is taking me home. It's time. It is time. I thank y'all just for being here. We're just gonna like I said, I'm blatantly just trying to make up minutes.
Hi,
And
Dave Johnson. Hi, Ted.
you hear that?
Hi, Aaron. Hi, Wade.
Can you hear shop mom?
Everybody can hear Shop Mom. Are you kidding me?
And you don't have even the speaker on.
And y'all don't have to call me sir.
Oh,
I get called sir a lot.
she gets called sir a lot. So what are we doing?
You're running out of battery is what you're doing.
We're running out of battery. So anybody have any last questions for Shop Mom? I've been thinking we should have a shop talk with Shop Mom. There's actually a lot of, she can answer 80% of the stuff I can right off the bat without even blinking. And answer a lot more stuff than I can answer.
Yeah, what's the stroke on a 327?
Well, I know that one. But besides that one, if you ask me something other, she knows all the, so I tell everybody, you don't need to get me on the phone because I'm going to ask Shop Mom what the answer is. Anyway, we thought we would do maybe, I don't know, Shop Mom will get in front of the camera. So how can we do a shop talk with Shop Mom?
The camera doesn't like me. This is the problem.
The camera doesn't like her, she says. What do y'all think? Does the camera doesn't like her?
No, the camera does not like me. I've already spoken.
We've already spoken. She has spoken. So it'd have to be like Tim the tool man. Remember Tim the tool man?
No,
he would be up to here.
Angels.
And you couldn't see.
Terry, I had no idea he was streaming. He was talking to me.
Oh, okay. So, anyway, that's just ideas. Just shop talk with Shop Mom.
I actually prefer the Charlie's Angels. I mean, that dates me. I understand that, but I was never a fan of Tim the Toolman, nor the guy behind the fence. I think that was ridiculous. But on Charlie's Angels, you never saw him. You only heard him, and I think that's kind of a cool vibe.
So we may just put a speaker, and then you can hear her voice, and you talk to a speaker, like from Charlie's Angels, maybe.
Hi, Farmer Girl, the chickens.
Yep. Shop Mom says hi. Farmer Girl, y'all can probably hear her, so I don't have to repeat.
Of course you can.
Hi,
Racer Rick.
Racer Rick says hi.
I'm reading Danny's iPad, and sadly, he is about to run out of battery, so I think we're done.
Yes. So if y'all have anything to say to Shop Mom, this is the time to do it before we run out. If the screen goes black, you know what it is, but we're about to end it. I thank everybody. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Farm Girls with Chickens. Thank you, Wade. Thank you.
And for those of you who don't know about South Texas traditions, it's tamale season.
It's the tamale season. We talked about tamale season. Yes, Terry. Piece and assembly grease. We're gonna assemble. There's Ted. There's Wade. There's Farm Girl with Chicken. There's everybody. I can't.
Thanks everybody. Really.
Thanks everybody.
Danny autocorrect. How funny.
Oh, on the I did the Soliz Navidad, everybody.
Yeah, Soliz Navidad.
Charles, women. There's everybody. I can't. Oni wish her and you.
I can only wish her and you a good week, and I don't have any specific question. Well, then you need to get to reading, Charles, because reading brings up questions.
Okay. All
Okay,
right, Charles.
guys.
Charles.
Peace and assembly grease. I'm gonna go lock up.
So someone's gonna go lock up the shop. I'm done here. Peace and assembly grease, Terry, Charles, I'm gonna go to chickens. Everybody, thank you just for hanging out with me. Let me just vent. I feel like therapy. I think I might, if I get, I think I've gotten the okay or the, y'all don't mind ranting. So we'll go home this weekend. I might not have to come in tomorrow because I have that video already shot. I got to just edit it. So I might do the ranting video. Excuse my ranting if it's not something that you, I don't know. But like I said, I don't think most people are attracted to people that rant. So I don't know. All right, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to head home. Happy weekend to everybody. Thanks for hanging out in the balance room with me today. Peace and assembly grease. I don't know what else to say. If this is the first time here, hit the like and subscribe button. Tell all your buds, tell all your friends, tell all your chickens. All right, I'm out of here. Sign off and get another beer and cigar and kisses. Yes, thank you for our grilled chicken. All right, we will see y'all. Peace and assembly grease. Thank y'all. It's been fun. All right. Where's the button? Where's the button?